Ladies and gents, boys and girls, this is the last one before the big one. And I am not talking about WrestleMania. Oh, we have a major transition coming. And I have a strong feeling that WWE is much more focused on their move to Fox than this pay-per-view, if they want to call it that they're hosting on Sunday. But before we get into the nitty and the gritty, to the left of me, as always, is my co-host, Darnell, the Playmaker Silence. How are you doing, Darnell?
Well. We have a pay-per-view, and every title's on the line.
But, in typical non-major pay-per-view fashion, I have forgotten that some of these titles are on the line. I mean, I usually, what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about the go-home shows, and then we'll let that blend into the pay-per-view. But Darnell, there's a problem with our usual formula.
Okay.
None of the shows really, dude, like, the only time they really even mentioned Clash of Champions was for the Kofi Kingston match and the Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman match. I don't think they really care about the pay-per-view. In fact, the Fire and Desire Tag Team Championship match, I'm trying to remember when that was even set up.
That was set up last week.
Okay.
You was on vacation, so it was set up last week.
Well, thank goodness for quick setups, because I guess Asuka and Kairi Sane's match was the Fatal 4-Way match. Then they didn't have a match after, but the Women's Tag Team Championship situation, it confuses the hell out of me. All of it confuses the hell out of me. Even missing that 1 week isn't really that significant, because the go home show is kind of sort of supposed to get you amped and ready. But instead, we have Kevin Owens getting fired. We have AJ Styles getting stunned like 3 times, if you include after the Raw went off the air, and a 10-man tag team match where like most of the guys in that match aren't even going to be on the show on Sunday.
How did that match go? I missed that.
As you would expect, bunch of baby faces beat a bunch of heels. Stone Cold came back out after Cedric Alexander got the pin, and they just had a beer bash to end the show. By the way, Raw came in with a 2.13 rating, which is their second worst non-holiday rating of all time. That was with Stone Cold.
Wait, I was just going to say, even with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That was with Stone Cold. And, I mean, like, dude, I don't even want to hear the BS of, there was a Monday Night Football doubleheader. Dude, the Saints-Texans game was really good, and nobody was going to stay up for Broncos-Raiders anyway. But, dude, like, let's be real. The 2.13 ratings, the below 2 ratings, the 2.2 ratings, dude, that's been happening. WWE had a whole NFL offseason. WWE has had the NBA offseason. Hell, hockey is even in its offseason, and nobody gives a damn about baseball. So it's like, dude, you use Stone Cold, and you tried to use Stone Cold for a ratings grab, and you had AJ Styles get stunned and all this stuff, and you had the show built around a 10-man tag team main event. But you have a pay-per-view where all the titles are going to be on the line on Sunday. And I am more invested in Rowan actually getting mic time and looking like he could be a top heel one day than I am Randy versus Kofi. Than I am this weird math that they're going to do with Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode obviously losing, unless they're really just going to put the tag titles back in obscurity. And then later in the night, after having a title defense, 2 tired dudes having a world title match. And also, I forgot to mention, Bayley just turned heel and got back together with Sasha Banks, who I think has just been back a month.
Can I correct that part?
Mm-hmm.
In technical terms, it's supposed to have been a heel turn. But does any of this that she has done feel like a heel turn?
Well, see, Darnell, that's the thing. Now, see, when Ember Moon said her promo, I laughed at how stupid she sounded. I hate that they made her say that, because I remember back between 2002 and 2004, yes, Yes, beating up the Raw champion was elevating the SmackDown's women's division. Yes, if you went on Raw, you were not there to be buddy and play nice. Yes, you were supposed to get in that ass. You're not there to be the Raw champion's friend. You're there to prove a point. So, I mean, to me, I think that's exactly what a SmackDown champion is supposed to do when they're in the ring with a Raw champion. But, you know, she tag teamed with Sasha, and somehow, some way, Charlotte and Becky got along long enough for Charlotte to pin Bayley. Speaking of which, who is Bayley facing? She's facing Charlotte, right?
Yep.
So Charlotte was tagging with a baby face and beat a heel in a tag team match before the pay-per-view on Sunday. Yep. Bayley was a baby face teaming with a heel, even though one of her opponents was on the same brand as her, and her partner was on a different brand, and she's a baby face that got pinned by a heel that was tagging with a baby face from another brand before Sunday.
Yep.
Talk about what you want to talk about when it comes to TV, Darnell, because I feel like the best way to do this is to just talk about the pay-per-view, because there was nothing about the show that really let me know that I should tune into this pay-per-view, besides the fact that, oh, yeah, there's a pay-per-view.
I think you hit all the major points there, sir. I think you did a fine job on your week back from vacation. I think you hit every point. I had to go back and finish watching SmackDown because I forgot about the Shane McMahon-Chad Gable match.
Oh, okay. Well, since we're going to do it like this, because I wanted to leave it a little bit open, but, you know, in fact, thank you for this, because we're almost 7 minutes in. We'll probably be 15 by the time we get done with this. Darnell, we're about to watch a pay-per-view where every championship is on the line. Yet somehow, some way, we're going to fit all these championships on the pay-per-view. Of course we're not. Some of these are going to be on the kickoff show. So, Darnell, tell me why there's going to be some championship matches on the kickoff show.
Because there's always a freaking kickoff show, and they are not going to put Roman Reigns on a kickoff show. Let's be for real.
Oh, no. Let me finish my question, because the sad thing is, Roman Reigns not having a match and going against the one member of the Wyatt family that was always hurt and never talked, but making the main card, Darnell, that's one thing. How the hell do we have the King of the Ring final set and we're just going to do it on a Raw?
That's what tells you who's going to win.
King of the Ring was a dual-branded tournament this year. And we're about to have a dual-branded pay-per-view, but we're going to have the King of the Ring final on Raw.
That's how you know who's going to be King of the Ring.
I own my own business, and I wish I had as much job security as Baron Corbin has. I mean, I should have known when they gave him a tank top instead of that damn vest. He was up for a big push. But damn, winning King of the Ring on your home to Darnell, I was trolling way back when I said that Baron Corbin was the favorite. I wasn't serious, unfortunately. I guess I could chalk that up to another unfortunate victory. So SmackDown ends with a King of the Ring focus that's not even focused on King of the Ring because Kevin Owens just got fired. So now what you're basically telling us is, again, just like the last time when Roman Reigns got hit with the stuff and they were trying to figure out in the locker room if Buddy Murphy was lying or not, we're going into a pay-per-view where we're talking about not the world title, not the Universal title. Hell, not even New Day wasn't even on TV this week. We're going to be talking about an angle that's not even going to be on the pay-per-view. And with that, because you know my model, Darnell, we are busy men and we don't have the time to cover other promotions in depth. So if you're not going to give a damn, why am I going to give a damn? Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the prediction portion of the evening. Go home with shit. So we're going to talk about these cards and try to figure out how the hell to pick these things because a babyface that's supposed to be a heel lost on the Go Home Raw. So I don't know how to pick that one.
All right. So it's been a while since we had a pay-per-view, which is ironic these days.
It feels like it's been a while, but I don't really think it's been as long. I think it's because there's no takeover build-up. I think this is the first time that we had like just a WWE pay-per-view.
So, I finally got everything tallied up for once. We both are tied at 80 and 30.
That is amazing. How did this happen? So you mean to tell me there was a tie, and we have a tie on both of our records in the NFL, and we are tied in wrestling?
Yep.
At 80 and 30, 80 and 30. That's a lot over 500, partner. That's. I don't know if that's us knowing what we're talking about or WWE being very predictable.
WWE being predictable. Except when it comes to NXT TakeOver.
Damn. So where are most of our losses at? The main roster or NXT?
Well, if I go, let's start from the beginning. You know, we both went 4-1 on TakeOver, the first TakeOver.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania TakeOver, we both went 3-2.
Okay.
TakeOver 25, you had a clean slate, and I went 3-2.
Oh.
And this past TakeOver, you went 3-2, I went 2-3. The thing is, with the main roster, I think most of the time we'll have that one match when we kind of like we really don't know, so we got to pick on how we feel. But the rest of we just be like, yeah, it's kind of foregone conclusion what's going to happen here. So quite frankly, like when it comes to the main roster, there's been no bigger difference than like a 4-match difference. Well, no, let's make that a 6-match difference, and then you started to come back. So.
Just 80 and 30. My God.
Yeah, we picked a lot of matches, sir.
But forget the number of matches. It's just the fact of like, bro, we're not supposed to be able to pick what the hell is going to happen. It's really not fun if you know what's going to happen. I mean, we're not watching this like it's boxing or MMA. Like okay, well.
Well, it might be some tough picks in this one for once.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, let's be fair, Darnell. We know that the Cruiserweight Championship is going to be on the kickoff, but New Day, Big E, and Xavier Woods weren't even on TV this damn week. They left Kofi hanging. So we know this match is going to be on the kickoff. The New Day...
I wasn't even on TV this week either.
It's amazing. So the New Day, a SmackDown branded tag team, versus the Revival, a Raw branded tag team for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Darnell, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that every champion, every challenger from a different brand that is challenged for another brand's championship is winless. I think there has been nobody from other brands to win yet. I think everybody's held the line. I don't expect this to change, because the confusing thing with the wild card rule is right now the brand split doesn't matter. That's going to change when it goes to Fox. But right now the brand split doesn't matter. If you win another brand's championship, doesn't that mean that you basically got traded with nothing in return?
Pretty much.
Why the hell would another... And see, this is another reason why the GM thing is so confusing. Because Shane runs everything, but he doesn't run anything. Why the hell will whoever is in charge let an asset walk for absolutely nothing in return? Because if New Day loses, they don't go to Raw. Either way, I'm picking New Day because the champions are undefeated when facing challengers from the other brands. When Alexa Bliss went 0 for 3, that's when I knew, okay, that shit just ain't gonna happen.
I'm going New Day too. So.
All right. Like I said, Cruiserweight title, that's going to be on the kickoff. Drew Gulak versus Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado.
This is all you, because I have not been paying attention to 205 Live.
Oh, well, you're giving me a lot of credit. Lince is kind of just there in this feud. He kind of sort of has a manly competition going on with Carrillo. So I'm picking Drew Gulak because Humberto kind of just got there, and Shinsuke Nakamura was speaking Japanese on the announce table and commentary this week. So I think that WWE has just said fuck it to anybody who hasn't learned English on the main roster yet. So it's Drew Gulak. Chance and Humberto Carrillo. Nah.
Yeah, the fact that you're talking about them two having their own personal battle, yeah, I'm picking Drew. I'm sticking with the champ.
Yeah, because they're probably going to mess it up for the other, and Drew Gulak's probably just going to come in and do the roll-up or whatever. So that's that. Another match, don't know if it's going to be on the kickoff, but this match is going to be early. It's either going to be early or a breather match. So either way, Shinsuke versus The Miz. They've been really hyping up the fact that The Miz is this close to Chris Jericho's record. Chris Jericho is the AEW World Champion. You know how petty Vince McMahon likes to be. Randy Orton became the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in history, not because he was ready, but because Vince wanted to stick it to Brock, who had the record before Randy. Shinsuke, like I said, was speaking Japanese at the announce desk this week. They literally did not give a damn about...
You ain't get to the kicker yet.
What?
His speaking partner got destroyed by The Undertaker because he was stupid enough to come out there.
Darnell, that's not a kicker. That's a waste of The Undertaker's time.
I'm talking about for this match per se. That's the kicker, but you are right.
But okay, so Sammy's going to be selling an injury, or the focus will be more on Sammy interacting with The Undertaker than the actual match when it comes to commentary. I mean,
I can hear Corey Gray saying a lot about that.
I mean, I think it's The Miz. Like I said, dude, Sami Zayn got whatever momentum he had, whatever momentum he ever has, they will never pull the trigger on Sami Zayn. I feel like Sami Zayn gets a lot of opportunities, but I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between Sami Zayn and R-Truth. I'm trying to figure out how R-Truth did what nobody else seems to be able to do, and that's capitalize on that undercard spot. R-Truth was going out first every week and turn that into WWE Championship matches, U.S. title reigns, and 24/7 title reigns. Sami Zayn, he's had good segments. He has great matches. When I look at Sami Zayn, I'm not suspending my disbelief that much, but it's never gonna work. And now
you know what?
What?
You brought something up and I didn't think about.
What?
Not to get away from this Intercontinental Championship match, but the 24/7 title was not seen this week.
Well, it was. Enos Cantor won it. Then R-Truth won it back.
Ooh.
I'll let that marinate real quick, Darnell. It's okay. Yes, that Enos Cantor. Go ahead. It was on main event. Take your time. I'm only talking right now because I don't want there to be gray air while you're thinking. So I'm just, making sure that there's audio. Yeah, Enos Cantor. The tall one.
Go back to the Intercontinental Championship match.
Okay. So it's The Miz. The Miz is going to get... So Chris Jericho has 9 or 8 Intercontinental title reigns?
I think it's 9.
Okay. So this means it will be The Miz's 10th? Let me look it up. I'm on Wikipedia right now anyway. Who's your pick while I'm looking this up?
Now, you did just say when we first talked about the SmackDown Tag Team title match.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
So Miz would be nighttime.
Nighttime, okay. If I do remember correctly, the Intercontinental title is branded on SmackDown.
Yes. Oh, Miz is on Raw?
And The Miz is on Raw.
Oh. Ooh.
And then you you got Cedric Alexander, who is a Raw superstar, is fighting AJ Styles, a Raw superstar, for the United States title.
Yeah. Ooh, just remember that. The wild card rule, it kind of blurs the lines of reality. Damn. And I don't think The Miz is somebody that you really need to convert for Fox. I don't think Fox is really checking for The Miz.
I'm going to go Shinsuke, unfortunately.
Damn. See, this is actually confusing because I'm sure that they recognize the trend that I brought up earlier. At the same time, they have not shut up about the fact that Miz is close to tying Chris Jericho's record. And I've seen the petty booking in the past that is used to spite somebody.
You still want to stick with The Miz?
Damn. Chris Jericho lost the world title belt, so that might have been enough for Vince to laugh it off. But damn. The AEW world champion has a record in WWE, and somebody is close to breaking that record. You don't want Chris Jericho, the AEW world champion, to be associated with one of your most prestigious championships. I think I'm going to go The Miz because, dude, we're 80 and 30. All I've ever done is work for the NWA and do some stuff for some independent promotion in Indiana. And you, good sir, are a very diverse reporter and analyst who has not worked for a wrestling promotion yet. I say yet. So we should not be 80 and 30. They have to do something to be unpredictable. Anything. I'll go with The Miz simply because A, we need to break the tie, and B, because Chris Jericho is a world champion in another promotion, and I would be very surprised if they let Chris Jericho keep some kind of record.
So let's get to something that is difficult to pick because the women's tag team championship is not branded on a certain brand. Whoever has it, it just goes to that brand. So whoever wins it, it goes to whatever brand they are. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are defending against Fire Desire of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
See, the weird thing about Fire and Desire is they were teasing the breakup. They were teasing the miscommunication and stuff way, way back.
They also were teasing them and looking like they was getting really close.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's sudden. Yeah, they set the matchup last week, but it's really sudden. And it's kind of a jolt to go from what the Iconics' reign was to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who Alexa Bliss is a babyface now, and she's proven to be a good friend, loses the titles to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and Alexa and Nikki just like stay friends. Like, they've basically let that boat sail away. They realized that Alexa Bliss did break up with 3 different people, and it was getting very predictable. So instead, they let her be a babyface.
Problem is, who will be next in line if they should retain?
But that's the thing. You can't keep having the title change hands simply because there's no one to defend against. Like, Nia Jax wasn't wrong. People gave Nia Jax a lot of heat, but Nia Jax was on to something when she...
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's a long process. It's a hard, thought out process. Yeah, I know. I was there. From March of this year, thinking about how I'm going to do this, doing all my research, trying to get everything right. What platforms can we use and how we going to record it and how we going to make it sound good and make it all this happen. And then I came upon Anchor. The Anchor app on my phone, the easiest choice I could ever make to do a podcast. It's free to use. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can record episodes whenever you're ready. You can edit it and then you can release it when you want to. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to distribute it on other platforms because Anchor has partnerships with Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, whatever you name it. Because the Playmakers Bar podcast is the podcast that I use. We're on all them platforms. We're on 9 platforms just by using the Anchor app. So pretty much all the questions that you have questions about doing the podcast, go to the Anchor app or go to the Anchor website, anchor.fm.com, and just search through it, ask questions. Because I tell you, a free app that does all this, there's nothing more you can ask for. I even got friends, they doing their podcast on the Anchor app. Faith Talk, you might have heard of it because it's very good. And it's great that it's an app like this, it's a website like this that makes it easier for people to do podcasts and do what they love best, talking about the things that they love to talk about. So give Anchor a try, see how much you like it. We'll love to hear your podcast.
And the prediction portion of the evening, go home with shit. So we're going to talk about these cards and try to figure out how the hell to pick these things, because a babyface that's supposed to be a heel lost on the Go Home Raw. So I don't know how to pick that one.
All right. So it's been a while since we had a pay-per-view, which is ironic these days.
It feels like it's been a while, but I don't really think it's been as long. I think it's because there's no takeover buildup. I think this is the first time that we had like just a WWE pay-per-view.
So I finally got everything tallied up for once. We're both are tied at 80 and 30.
That is amazing. How did this happen? So you mean to tell me there was a tie, and we have a tie on both of our records in the NFL, and we are tied in wrestling?
Yep.
At 80 and 30, 80 and 30. That's a lot over 500, partner. That's. I don't know if that's us knowing what we're talking about or WWE being very predictable.
WWE being predictable, except when it comes to NXT Takeover.
Damn. So where are most of our losses at? The main roster or NXT?
Well, if I go, let's start from the beginning. You know, we both went 4-1 on Takeover, the first Takeover.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania Takeover, we both went 3-2.
Okay.
Takeover 25, you had a clean slate, and I went 3-2.
Oh.
And this past Takeover, you went 3-2, I went 2-3. The thing is, with the main roster, I think most of the time we'll have that one match when we kind of like we really don't know, so we got to pick on how we feel. But the rest of we just be like, yeah, it's kind of foregone conclusion what's going to happen here.
So quite frankly, like when it comes to the main roster, there's been no bigger difference than like a 4-match difference. Or no, let's make that a 6-match difference, and then you started to come back. So.
Just 80 and 30. My God.
Yeah, we picked a lot of matches, sir.
But forget the number of matches. It's just the fact of like, bro, we're not supposed to be able to pick what the hell is going to happen. It's really not fun if you know what's going to happen. I mean, we're not watching this like it's boxing or MMA. Like okay, well.
Well, it might be some tough picks in this one for once.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, let's be fair, Darnell. We know that the Cruiserweight Championship is going to be on the kickoff, but New Day, Biggie, and Xavier Woods weren't even on TV this damn week. They left Kofi hanging, so we know this match is going to be on the kickoff. The New Day...
I wasn't even on TV this week either.
It's amazing. So the New Day, a SmackDown branded tag team, versus the Revival, a Raw branded tag team for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Darnell, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that every challenger from a different brand that is challenged for another brand's championship is winless. I think there has been nobody from other brands to win yet. I think everybody's held the line. I don't expect this to change, because the confusing thing with the wild card rule is right now the brand split doesn't matter. That's going to change when it goes to Fox. But right now, the brand split doesn't matter. If you win another brand's championship, doesn't that mean that you basically got traded with nothing in return?
Pretty much.
Why the hell would another... And see, this is another reason why the GM thing is so confusing. Because Shane runs everything, but he doesn't run anything. Why the hell will whoever is in charge let an asset walk for absolutely nothing in return? Because if New Day loses, they don't go to Raw. Either way, I'm picking New Day because the champions are undefeated when facing challengers from the other brands. When Alexa Bliss went 0 for 3, that's when I knew, okay, that shit just ain't gonna happen.
I'm going New Day too. So.
All right. Like I said, Cruiserweight title, that's gonna be on the kickoff. Drew Gulak versus Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado.
This is all you because I have not been paying attention to 205 Live.
Oh, well, you're giving me a lot of credit. Lince is kind of just there in this feud. He kind of sort of has a manly competition going on with Carrillo. So I'm picking Drew Gulak because Humberto kind of just got there. And Shinsuke Nakamura was speaking Japanese on the announce table and commentary this week. So I think that WWE has just said fuck it to anybody who hasn't learned English on the main roster yet. So it's Drew Gulak. Chance and Humberto Carrillo. Nah.
Yeah, the fact that you're talking about them two having their own personal battle, yeah.
Yeah, because they're probably going to mess it up for the other, and Drew Gulak's probably just going to come in and do the roll-up or whatever. So that's that. Another match, don't know if it's going to be on the kickoff, but this match is going to be early. It's either going to be early or a breather match. So either way, Shinsuke versus The Miz. They've been really hyping up the fact that The Miz is this close to Chris Jericho's record. Chris Jericho is the AEW World Champion. You know how petty Vince McMahon likes to be. Randy Orton became the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in history, not because he was ready, but because Vince wanted to stick it to Brock, who had the record before Randy. Shinsuke, like I said, was speaking Japanese at the announce desk this week. They literally did not give a damn about...
You ain't get to the kicker yet.
What?
His speaking partner got destroyed by The Undertaker because he was stupid enough to come out there.
Darnell, that's not a kicker. That's a waste of The Undertaker's time.
I'm talking about for this match per se. That's the kicker, but you are right.
But okay, so Sammy's going to be selling an injury, or the focus will be more on Sammy interacting with The Undertaker than the actual match when it comes to commentary. I mean,
I can hear Corey Gray saying a lot about that.
I mean, I think it's The Miz. Like I said, dude, Sami Zayn got whatever momentum he had, whatever momentum he ever has, they will never pull the trigger on Sami Zayn. I feel like Sami Zayn gets a lot of opportunities, but I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between Sami Zayn and R-Truth. I'm trying to figure out how R-Truth did what nobody else seems to be able to do, and that's capitalize on that undercard spot. R-Truth was going out first every week and turn that into WWE Championship matches, U.S. title reigns, and 24/7 title reigns. Sami Zayn, he's had good segments. He has great matches. When I look at Sami Zayn, I'm not suspending my disbelief that much, but it's never gonna work. And now
you know what?
What?
You brought something up and I didn't think about.
What?
Not to get away from this Intercontinental Championship match, but the 24/7 title was not seen this week.
Well, it was. Enos Cantor won it. Then R-Truth won it back.
Ooh.
I'll let that marinate real quick. Darnell, it's okay. Yes, that Enos Cantor. Go ahead. It was on main event. Take your time. I'm only talking right now because I don't want there to be gray air while you're thinking. So I'm just, making sure that there's audio. Yeah, Enos Cantor. The tall one.
Go back to the Intercontinental Championship match.
Okay. So it's The Miz. The Miz is gonna get. So Chris Jericho has 9 or 8 in the Continental title reigns.
I think it's 9.
Okay, so this means it will be The Miz's 10th. Let me look it up. I'm on Wikipedia right now anyway. Who's your pick while I'm looking this up?
Now you did just say when we first talked about the SmackDown Tag Team title match.
Okay,
if I remember correctly.
So Miz would be ninth time.
Ninth time, okay. If I do remember correctly, the Intercontinental title is branded on SmackDown.
Yes. Oh, Miz is on Raw?
And The Miz is on Raw.
Oh. Ooh.
And then you got Cedric Alexander, who is a Raw superstar, is fighting AJ Styles, a Raw superstar for the United States title.
Yeah. Ooh, just remember that. The wild card rule, it kind of blurs the lines of reality. Damn. And I don't think The Miz is somebody that you really need to convert for Fox. I don't think Fox is really checking for The Miz.
I'm going to go Shinsuke, unfortunately.
Damn. See, this is actually confusing because I'm sure that they recognize the trend that I brought up earlier. At the same time, they have not shut up about the fact that Miz is close to tying Chris Jericho's record. And I've seen the petty booking in the past that is used to spite somebody.
You still want to stick with The Miz?
Damn. Chris Jericho lost the world title belt, so that might have been enough for Vince to laugh it off. But damn. The AEW world champion has a record in WWE, and somebody is close to breaking that record. You don't want Chris Jericho, the AEW world champion, to be associated with one of your most prestigious championships. I think I'm going to go The Miz because, dude, we're 80 and 30. All I've ever done is work for the NWA and do some stuff for some independent promotion in Indiana. And you, good sir, are a very diverse reporter and analyst who has not worked for a wrestling promotion yet. I say yet. So we should not be 80 and 30. They have to do something to be unpredictable. Anything. I'll go with The Miz simply because A, we need to break the tie, and B, because Chris Jericho is a world champion in another promotion, and I would be very surprised if they let Chris Jericho keep some kind of record.
So that's good. Something that is difficult to pick because the women's tag team championship is not branded on a certain brand. Whoever has it, it just goes to that brand. So whoever wins it, it goes to whatever brand they're on. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are defending against Fire Desire of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
See, the weird thing about Fire and Desire is they were teasing the breakup. They were teasing the miscommunication and stuff way, way back.
They also were teasing them and looking like they was getting really close.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's sudden. Yeah, they set the matchup last week, but it's really sudden. And it's kind of a jolt to go from what the Iconics' reign was to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who Alexa Bliss is a babyface now, and she's proven to be a good friend, loses the titles to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and Alexa and Nikki just like stay friends. Like, they've basically let that boat sail away. They realized that Alexa Bliss did break up with 3 different people, and it was getting very predictable. So instead, they let her be a babyface.
Problem is, who will be next in line if they should retain?
But that's the thing. You can't keep having the title change hands simply because there's no one to defend against. Like, Nia Jax wasn't wrong. People gave Nia Jax a lot of heat, but Nia Jax was on to something. She said that the Women's Tag Team Championship match, the Women's Tag Team Championship, the division wasn't ready for it yet. And a lot of people gave her flack and said she was hating and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, like, for everybody that was being like very, very, very feminist, and I mean the ideology, I mean the subscription to the theories behind feminism, dude, like, the division wasn't ready. We're in a situation now where it's your question is legitimate, Darnell. If Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross retain, who's next? Because you've already screwed up your creative process when Kabuki Warriors never got their match. And then it was a fatal four-way match out of nowhere.
And then we haven't heard from them since.
They tried to put Paige with them because of the language barrier, but it never made sense. Like, even though WWE is based heavily around character development and scripted promos, you have to have some acts that are based on their in-ring performance and talent. When you're at a circus, everybody's not a clown. When you're at a circus, you have the huge big wheel, the unicycle guy, the lion tamer, the contortionist, the trapeze artist, the stuntman, the freestyle motocross dudes. Like, the clowns are the ones who can hype up the crowd and use pantomiming and all that stuff. But you still have a lot of people that wow you with things that you will never, ever, ever in your life be able to do. And that's what Kairi Sane and Asuka are. They bring the realism and legitimacy to WWE's product, but WWE right now doesn't really want to use them, and they're trying to tinker with them because they want somebody who can cut promos for them instead of just letting them be that team. So I to be honest, dude, I don't know who they face if they retain, but they've stopped and started so much with the belt, and they've stopped and started so much with Fire and Desire. And on top of that, Darnell, let's be honest for a second. Alexa Bliss is holding a championship right now. Are they really going to let her have a short reign? This is her first championship since she had that concussion. And they stopped and started with her a lot, too.
But you know, they actually love Mandy Rose.
They're high on her, but I mean, do they really love her? How many opportunities has she really gotten? Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks after throwing her temper tantrum, The Miz, Cedric Alexander.
Not only did she throw a temper, but she was right at the same time.
Exactly. But I mean, dude, like, the list of people I just named, like, those are people they love. People they are high on. Cesaro, Mandy Rose, Andrade. You see the difference?
He had to say Andrade.
Yes.
I'm gonna take Fire and Desire. Just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it.
Honorable. And because we do need tiebreakers. We've already established this year that we can basically pick a very predictive product. Now we need to actually break some ties because we've pretty much established that we are going to have decent records. Nobody sucks this year, unfortunately.
So you rolling with the champs, I'm going with the challengers.
Okay, so the damn sad thing is we still could end up tied because right now we have two disagreements.
Hey, let's get to that guy who wants to be a part of the Universal Championship picture, but cannot be a part of the Universal Championship picture because he didn't look at the title. I hate doing that because you know how much I love the man, but that's the way that they set him up. I can't help it. United States Championship. My dude, the phenomenal AJ Styles is going against Cedric Alexander.
Cedric got the pin on AJ for this 10-man tag team match. So Cedric got the pin that got the baby faces the victory.
So
AJ Styles, AJ Styles is the leader of a stable, and AJ Styles right now can't get to the Universal Championship.
Hold on. So you telling me Raw opens up, Stone Cold comes out, contract is signed, AJ Styles gets stunned.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me because coming back all the way down, AJ Styles gets pinned by Challenger in 10-man tag match. And gets stunned again.
Yes.
I'm going AJ Styles.
He has to be winning. And he has to be winning in decisive fashion. He's going to hit a Pele, a 450 splash, a phenomenal forearm, a Styles Clash. He's going to hit that shit like King and Taken. It's going to be like a 4-hit combo. It's going to be rough. I do appreciate the actual effort to push new talent. And I'm also happy for Cedric Alexander that he doesn't have to keep his weight under 205 pounds anymore. Good for him. Good for him. And for Buddy Murphy, because brother's shoulders are wide. That man was not meant to be under 205 pounds. So good for those two. Okay, so give me the tally real quick.
We are five matches on the board right now.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's no way we're getting this deep into the show and this match hasn't happened yet. Roman Reigns versus Erick Rowan in an ODQ match. Should we even really talk about this thing?
When did they make it an ODQ is one I want to know.
I think on SmackDown. I really hope it wasn't a Twitter thing. They are using Twitter in all the wrong ways. They are so lazy.
So I had to watch Roman Reigns get his ass whooped.
And then come back and win.
Yeah.
He's gonna get his ass whooped the whole match. He's gonna hit like a miraculous spear and like a steel step is gonna fall on Rowan's face or something.
Oh, then again, wait a minute. Then again, there was somebody else who took an ass whooping 2 weeks ago, but wasn't on SmackDown this week.
Who, D-Bry?
What part does he play?
Well, Daniel Bryan is now the anti-hero babyface. He's keeping his heel character, but he is now on the side of justice and honesty. So that only helps Roman. And it's an ODQ match.
But the two don't mix, though. This makes it quite interesting. The two things that you just said shouldn't mix together. Because notice, Rowan never said he was the one behind the wheel of that damn car. All that he said, he enjoyed everything he did to him. We don't even know everything he did.
Well, he did it for The Rock. He did it for the people.
So, yeah.
Darnell, I understand the need for content. I ain't mad at you. I probably should be doing it myself. But if you really think that in a pay-per-view with a match with no consequence and with a feud that has a lot of novel left to be written, there are a lot of pages left to be written in this novel. There's no way in hell Roman Reigns is not winning this match. This is all but proven that Roman Reigns is still a very significant babyface in the company.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Reigns. When do I ever pick against Reigns?
That's probably the reason why our records are so high, because we refuse to pick against Reigns.
I'm just saying, though, there's some mystery out there somewhere that I'm not going to overlook.
I would be happy if I got this pick wrong, but that's the thing. I need to get the pick wrong, but because if we're talking about, records and blah, 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 bruh, not picking against Roman Reigns, especially going against the fourth member of the Wyatt family. So, got that.
One of the two women's matches coming up. I just don't know which one, because they both are so intriguing. It involves all the four horsewomen. When the last time we had a pay-per-view and all the four horsewomen was fighting each other?
I know. I'm trying to think. I don't think it was ever. I know we've had a lot of matches where three of them are in the same match. But, let's go with the one that's probably not going to be near the main event. Bayley versus Charlotte.
Yeah, we know which one that one is. Bayley versus Charlotte. And if my history serves me correctly, I think Charlotte is leading in that rivalry.
I think so.
But as you said, Bayley was supposed to turn heel, but their reaction did not feel like a heel turn whatsoever.
What do you mean, the crowd reaction? Because the crowds like to cheer for the heels and boo the faces.
The crowd is all over Becky Lynch. But when Bayley did what she did, they cheered her. So I'm like, I'm so confused at this moment. And then she did her little promo on SmackDown. She ain't say nothing hellish towards Ember Moon. You don't get a vibe of heel from Bayley. That's why Charlotte's still the heel.
Oh, most def. Charlotte, there is no way that you flip Charlotte into being the babyface. Because when Charlotte Flair raises her hand on Sunday, everybody's going to be pissed off. Because here's the crazy thing, Darnell.
I wouldn't be.
I'm slipping in my pick to be Charlotte because, dude, look at the trend. Like, tell me that you haven't noticed that they're literally packing in as many championship reigns as possible. Ric Flair's career went from the late 60s all the way to the mid 2000s. When he won their 16 world titles, he won them over the span of like 3 or 4 decades. Charlotte might not have that much time on her clock because I think she started wrestling when she was like 29 or 30.
You know what? I'm gonna get back to Ric Flair a little later on.
That can be the monologue.
Oh, you know, then I'll let you have that one then, because I don't know the details of it, but I guess you do.
Oh no, we could do it together. We could tag team it because it's interesting to say the least. But I mean, I feel like Bayley and Sasha Banks, with the wild card rule and with a couple weeks left until the switch to Fox, I think there's something there. And with the fact that Sasha and Becky are due for a match after she gets done with now that I think about it, I'm tripping because Sasha and Becky are due for a match. So hypothetically, we're not there yet, but hypothetically, if Bayley loses this match and Sasha loses her match, that answers our question from earlier. Because the whole reason why Sasha left is because she felt like those titles were going to get bastardized, and they got bastardized. So now that she comes back, she gets a singles title shot. Her friend is about to lose to Charlotte Flair, and I do think she's about to lose to Charlotte Flair, and voila. Like, dude, they put the tag team back together. The tag team couldn't win because they both have singles title matches. Like, they're focused on other things right now, and they just got back together. They're not supposed to be that cohesive of a unit anymore. But I mean, now that Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are baby faces and they're friends, this kamikaze can come. One lost their title, one lost the title match, the title that they were never supposed to lose in the first place. It makes sense.
Well, we both going with the queen.
Which means, because, you know,
it's been a while since I said that on the podcast. Jeez.
Yeah, which means, because, you know, might as well, because this has direct implications. Like, this has wide-reaching implications if Bayley loses. Because we don't know how much longer Becky Lynch is going to hold the belt this time. But with Sasha Banks, you're in a very interesting position. You're talking about somebody that quit after WrestleMania because they lost a tag team championship. They're so invested in building up the women's tag team division from scratch. They quit when they felt like you were jumping the gun and not listening to the bigger picture. On the other hand, dude, Sasha Banks just came back and she's hot. Using different names, different hair, like the whole nine. You can't strike while the iron is hot. But do you strike while the iron is hot with this belt?
Man, only one problem. Only one damn problem.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell's going to happen in October?
That's the thing. Because, I mean, there's going to be another draft. That has been confirmed. There's going to be another draft. And they're going to make sure that it's a hard brand split. So they're going to have a draft. And the brand splits, there's not going to be in the wild card rule. With that, though, Darnell, Sasha and Bayley are free game no matter what because of the tag team championships. The tag team championships are going to still be an all-brand championship because they have no choice. Fox is just going to have to eat that. That being said, if Becky Lynch were not to have a belt, because it's the Raw Women's Championship. You can't just draft her to SmackDown and trade Charlotte and just change the names of the belts. That's dumb. Like, she would have to vacate or lose it. I mean,
yeah. So I'm gonna disappoint you when we finish making our predictions, because I got the pay-per-view schedule right in front. But we're gonna finish our picks first, then I'll disappoint you. I'm rolling with the man.
Okay. Wait. Damn, I never really made the pick. I'm going with Becky Lynch too, because I really think that I really want Sasha and Bayley to pick up where they left off. I think with this new fire, with this new intensity, with them realizing that WWE really ruined that division, and they told them that they were going to ruin the division, I think that there's something there. But in order for that to happen, neither of them could be singles champions.
So let's do something different here, because there's two people that's on this card twice. So we'll do those back to back. So let's go to Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship.
Oh, damn. Wow. Okay. Cool. That's good. There were so many matches, Darnell. I just was going and going and going. I didn't know we were almost to the end. Kofi.
Oh, he going Kofi. They really gonna pull the trigger this time?
Dude, you gotta think about it. Think about it. Before you make your pick and go that route. When Kofi loses, whoever beats Kofi is going to be that villain. Whoever beats Kofi and ends this Cinderella run has to be a villain who is ready for the smoke. And we also have to assume that this villain sometime soon will be facing Roman Reigns. Now, before you keep going, before you keep going, while Randy Orton is big enough to face Roman Reigns, while Randy Orton is somebody who would want that smoke, what are you going to get out of Randy Orton being a world champion? All you got to do is look at his Twitter and Instagram and see that he is very focused on his family. He is in a different stage of his life and career right now, Darnell. And even if it is just a 1 month reign, you're not going to get a long reign out of Randy Orton, and who is he going to drop back to? Because I think this is Kofi's only reign. I don't think he gets another one. This is it.
But you did say whoever beats Kofi is going to be an enormous hill, right?
Do you do it with Randy, though? Randy has had his time to shine. Randy has had his raising in the sun.
He has. But how many hills are we lining up?
That's the thing. Right, we have Fox. We have Brock out there waiting in the wings. We have Fox, the former partner of UFC. We have Brock Lesnar waiting in the wings.
I hope they're not playing that. I really hope they're not playing that.
But, Darnell, it doesn't matter what we hope. What's going to bring asses to the couch? What's going to put butts in those seats, Darnell? What's going to get the people talking? It's provocative. What's going to get the people going?
I know what the next pay-per-view is.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, has Kofi Kingston ever gave anybody a rematch? I just doing his ring. I just thought about
that. Let's see. I think about it. No, this is his longest feud, I think. I think this is his longest feud. Damn, now that I think about it, that's weird, because did Daniel Bryan ever get his rematch?
I don't think so. I remember he got concussed doing that match at WrestleMania.
Did Dolph? Wait, so he only had one match with Dolph?
I think, he had 2 matches with Dolph.
Okay. So, because, dude, there's only been 4 people this reign. Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, and Randy.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, and we're in September now, and he won the belt in April. So it's been 5 months, but it's felt like a long 5 months because there hasn't been much variety. That's why I say, though, I mean, you're either gonna give somebody new the chance to step up, or you're gonna give the belt to Brock to shock some people. You're not gonna give it to Randy because Randy's too safe. Okay, Brock Lesnar decimates Randy Orton. Okay, first of all, Randy Orton is not about to be a babyface that quickly. We're talking about like less than a month here. Randy Orton is not about to switch sides that quickly and get decimated by Brock Lesnar and gain somebody's sympathy. A Randy Orton Brock Lesnar feud for the championship is not gonna do it.
You know what? I'm stick to what I thought when they first would do this rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
It's that 10 years, 9 years, whatever years in the making.
This is probably gonna be his statement win. Like, this is probably gonna be the signature win.
9 years ago, you couldn't make it to the top because you ran into Randy Orton. This time, you stay on top because you ran into Randy Orton.
It makes sense, especially when you consider the angle that they used before WrestleMania. It makes sense.
The Kofi train continues. I almost pulled the trigger, but I had to remember when I first started this rivalry when it first began digging. Yeah, they go.
These are live action novels. And you have to think, what's the end of the book going to be like? How has the book been progressing? It would be a shame if that big gorilla didn't have his chance to recap it.
But I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if I see an RKO for 1, 2, 3.
I would, because when Brock Lesnar cashed in ahead of time, well, no, he didn't cash in ahead of time. When Brock Lesnar cashed in and then Seth Rollins won the belt right back, I thought that was a waste of the briefcase. As much as it hurt me at the time, I realized the significance and what it would have did for ratings if Brock cashed in on Kofi, the opening episode of SmackDown on Fox, and won the belt. Now that they've taken away the briefcase, they've basically screwed that pooch, and now they're going to have to do something very complicated. So,
anyway, we have two superstars with titles involved in two matches. So we have the Raw Tag Team titles being defended by the Universal Champion Seth Rollins and his tag team partner Braun Strowman against a team of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. For some reason, got put together when they decided to do it as a Tornado Tag Team. Was it no Tornado Tag Team match?
It was a Gauntlet Tag Team match.
Gauntlet Tag Team match, and these two end up winning the whole thing.
And they actually beat some people. It wasn't like they were the last team. I think this is a classic case of A, WWE hates tag team wrestling, and B, they need a team that isn't a real team that can lose. But they need a way to make this team that came out of nowhere credible enough to get a championship match at a pay-per-view. So even though you threw it all together in one match, this team was good enough to beat all the other teams on the roster in a number one contender gauntlet match. So they at least deserve a shot to see what they have.
I hate to rain on your little soliloquy right there, but let's not forget the team that the tag team champs beat for those titles went against the Viking Raiders, and both of them got counted out.
Well, you know, these things happen. Darnell, I'm just trying to help it make sense to the people. If you have a better way to make this shit make sense, please go ahead. Because I'm trying.
There's no way of making this sense because you know what? I don't know why I'm doing this. For someone telling me not to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna pick the tag team champions just for the hell of it.
It's wild because Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode have no entitlement to be more cohesive as a unit than Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman do. Those two should break down and get frustrated with each other, just like Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman should break down and get frustrated with each other. In fact, I hope this is a back-to-back thing. I really hope they do wait till the end of the show to do these two matches back-to-back. I really, really do. Because, man, if they look good as a tag team and beat Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, we got to wait 2 hours or wait like an hour to see these two get along, then fight over a world title. And here's what makes it even worse. I have to wait an hour to see Braun Strowman lose a world title match. And backstage, you know the logic will be, well, yeah, he lost a world title match, but A, we had him in the main event. B, we had him go for the world title. And C, it doesn't matter that he lost because he's still a champion to the guy he lost to. Like, every other time they've done this, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Batista, John Cena, John Cena and David Otunga, John Cena and The Miz, they've lost the tag team championships like really, really quickly. Like, they lost it before the world title match. Now, it's been a while. I think the last time that this thing has happened was John Cena and The Miz. They held the belt for 5 minutes. I remember that night clearly. I laughed my ass off. So, Dolph Ziggler is too valuable to have him just sitting on the bench. Also, they are paying him a lot of money for him to just be sitting on the bench.
I'm hearing Robert Roode coming.
Yeah, and Robert Roode, I mean, he's talented, man. Like, he's too good for the 24/7 title. They're just not using him. And I think that this will rectify that. I don't see the logic in them having a world title match while still being world tag team champions.
There you go, people. Guess what? Somebody's gonna be leading after this one.
Yeah, because I mean, the way that they don't care about the tag team titles, I think it's actually dangerous to keep them as tag team champions. Because, dude, like, what are you gonna do? So you guys are gonna be tag team champions. Braun Strowman is gonna lose to Seth Rollins, or Seth Rollins is gonna lose to Braun Strowman. You guys are gonna be fighting over the world championship while defending the tag team championship?
That would be a strange storyline, but an interesting one, though.
It would, but I mean, again, Braun Strowman is a great asset that could be used on SmackDown. Seth Rollins has never been on SmackDown full time. It's one of those things. We know that we have a draft coming up. We know that Fox is going to want some heavy hitters. Fox said that WWE needs to hit a 3.0 rating or some shit's about to go down. They are nowhere near a 3.0 rating.
So, well, that's the recap. Both going New Day. Both going Drew Gulak. I'm sticking with the Intercontinental Champion Nakamura. Dallas is going with The Miz. I'm going with Fire Desire, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville to get the Women's Tag Team Championship. Dallas is sticking with the chance of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. We're both going in this house. For the Universal title match. I'm sticking with the Tag Team Champs with Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. Don't ask me why. And he's going Dolph Ziggler and Ric.
You want to know what's really hilarious about all this?
What's that?
Because the Arizona Cardinals Detroit Lions game really got me thinking. Because it was a tie, and we both picked Detroit. Because ties are so rare in the NFL, you had to mark it down as a tie, even though we both picked Detroit and Detroit did not win. So in these tag team championship matches, we have problems. The challengers, when you really sit down and think about it, have legitimate claims for victory. WWE always likes to waste your time. Darnell, there is a way that we will still end up tied. There is a way that we will end tied, and I hate it so much. One of these matches are going to end up in a fucking count-out or no contest.
You said the magic word. You said to waste your time. So you ready to be mad, Dallas? Before we go to the monologue,
no.
Ric Flair?
No.
Your next pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell on October 6th. That's not the good part. That's not the good part. It gets better. Because on November 1st, guess where they going,
You son
Dallas?
of a bitch.
Oh! Why they going back to Saudi Arabia?
You son of a...
Don't even got a title for the pay-per-view. Don't even got a title for that pay-per-view yet. But they're gonna be in Saudi Arabia November 1st. That's your last big showing before we get the takeover and Survivor Series.
So you mean to tell me that there is a show where me and you are basically just gonna be... Why even talk about it? Nothing ever happens at the Saudi Arabia shows. Nothing. You basically know what's gonna happen before it even happens. They never do anything at the Saudi Arabia show.
Man, none of this. I had to go look at the pay-per-view schedule, and that's what came up, and I was like,
So you mean to tell me we're gonna... Dude, we have 3 differences, and all the matches where there are differences, there's a chance it could end up in like a count out or a no contest or whatever. You know what? Talking about the Saudi Arabia show is one thing, but damn, that's just... We are so far over 500, and we are trying to break this tie. Why would we pick the Saudi Arabia show? Because you're basically saying, okay, I'm going to just lose for the hell of it if you pick against the champions. They're not going to give Saudi... It's a glorified house show. God damn, we're really going to be tied to the Royal Rumble. This is amazing.
I don't know what to tell you.
And then oh God! So wait a minute, whoa,
Oh yeah, Hell in a Cell is October 6th.
whoa! Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me the debut episode of SmackDown on Fox is a go home show?
It's a go home show.
Whoa! So when are they doing the draft?
Who knows at this point?
So
let's see. We at the week of September 15th, because that's when Clash of Champions is. That means we have about a good...
Hold on. I'm going to find this shit out. Hold on.
With a good 3 weeks, and we already know what's going to happen on Monday night and who's going to be crowned King of the Ring, so... Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just going to let you know when we pretty much already know who's going to win King of the Ring, so...
Oh, wow. Wait a minute. So the Raw and SmackDown rosters new talent draft kicking off on the 11th of October episode of SmackDown held in Las Vegas and concluding on the 14th of October Raw in Denver, Colorado. Wow.
Interesting.
Have the first episode be a go-home show with the wild card rule running rampant one last time. That is going to be garbage.
That actually explains why they've been having these commercials having Becky Lynch shown.
Card subject.
So yeah. Now I don't want to make y'all mad, but there's no way around it. Like, this is what's coming. So y'all gonna be pissed. Probably gonna be pissed on Sunday. You definitely gonna be pissed on Monday.
Yes. Because
you might be pissed on Tuesday. But don't worry, because when Wednesday gets here, everybody can be happy and have joy in this. Because you know what happens Wednesday? NXT is live on the USA Network. And by the way, Dallas, to make you happy, on the first live episode of NXT, the prophecy will finally be fulfilled as Roderick Strong will go against Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship.
Ooh.
So I'm decreeing and declaring right here on this episode that the Undisputed Era will have all the gold. Now, I did catch NXT. You know, I can't leave out NXT. Rhea Ripley was in the main event against the queen of NXT, Shayna Baszler. You know, when Rick is having a hard time trying to figure out who's going to fight Shayna Baszler for her title. So, first it was supposed to be a triple threat match. Then he made it a fatal four-way match. Then he said if Ripley was to win, it'll be a 5-way. Thing is, Shayna Baszler's henchmen are back now, and they decided to get involved, and Ripley got disqualified.
Ooh.
But we know how this is gonna go. It's a 99.9% that we're gonna have a fatal 5-way to determine who's gonna fight. So most likely you will see Ripley in there. You will see Io Shirai. You will see Candice LeRae. The other two, I don't know. I think I might throw Bianca Belair and Mia Yim in there. So that could be a doozy, right?
That could definitely be a doozy.
So, oh yeah. I think I seen something else for the next show. I think it has something to do with Killian Dane. I think he's gonna be in the street fight with somebody. Can't remember who. It might be Matt Riddle.
Bro. Oh, hey, I was just in Poinciana seeing my mother-in-law, and I could tell you right now, if I was gonna have a street fight anywhere, I'd rather have it in Orlando than Jacksonville. Oof. It's a pretty place to have a street fight, man. Pretty place.
So yeah, that's pretty much your NXT news I got for you. They tried this whole thing with Johnny Gargano addressing the fans on his future. And then some guy by the name of Shane Thorne, if I think his name is correct, decided to come out there and try to steal the spotlight. So you know it. You can pretty much figure out what happened.
Good for Shane Thorne, because Nick Miller, went to have a family and be back in Australia. So, it's kind of hit him for a loop, but good for them finding out something for him to do, even though it didn't work out in his favor, but it was something.
So, yeah. There you have it. And Damian Priest is still winning matches.
Don't know what the hell they're going to do with him. Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest. He came in on a roll when he left Ring of Honor. And, it's kind of like the War Raiders thing. I mean, you want to establish the fact that this new act is going to be significant moving forward. But, that gets stale pretty quick, especially when you consider the fact that NXT has a lot of talent. And, that's a lot of developmental talent that could be enhancement talent. So you're having him beat a lot of the faces that you might want to use later on. Because NXT is transitioning into being the legitimate third brand, you kind of want to be careful with that. Not everybody can be Jeff and Matt Hardy.
So, yeah. Next Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, NXT is live, and it's 2 hours now.
We will see how that ends up. Triple H will be the showrunner for that show. So,
and now this is where I turn over to Dallas to talk about a certain situation with a certain two-time Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so when I read it, I kind of chuckled because it was like, damn, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Ric Flair previously went to WWE to arrange a private agreement for them to license and use the man and compensate Ric Flair as time goes on. According to Ric Flair, or sources that were talking about the situation, WWE less than politely declined. So Ric Flair is upset with the company because they're using the man trademark, which, to be fair, and I'll get into this a little bit more, to be fair, when you think of the man and you have to beat the man to be the man and all that stuff, if you don't think of Charlotte, you definitely think of her daddy. He was saying that a long time ago, either him or Dusty, either of those two. So WWE, is kind of sort of blatantly doing copyright infringement. They're doing brand, infringement. And that whole thing is weird because it's been noted that Ric Flair has been having some problems. I don't think, or at least I don't want to speculate and put out there that Ric Flair is trying to seek compensation from WWE because he's having money problems. I think that Ric Flair is trying to seek compensation from WWE because the man is clearly a part of his brand. And Ric Flair's brand was established long before 1993 when he won that Royal Rumble. So I just read, when I was trying to figure out more of it real quick, Ric Flair just signed a deal with Adidas. That was September 10th of this year. So Ric Flair has a deal with Adidas. Ric Flair, just being Ric Flair, the person, he doesn't have to take another bump a day in his life. Ric Flair is the inspiration of hip-hop songs. Ric Flair is signing endorsement deals. Ric Flair is still doing Comic-Cons. Hell, all Ric Flair really has to do is say, I want to do commentary. I'm surprised he hasn't thought of it. So I don't think that Ric Flair can't find a check. Now, to finance that Ric Flair lifestyle, that's different, Darnell. We might be talking about different things when you talk about that. I think that he has a case. WWE's usual way of doing business is that once they buy something and once you sign the talent contract and blah, 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 your name, likeness, is owned by WWE Incorporated and blah, 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 blah. With that being said, though, I mean, that's kind of like it's clearly inspired by Ric Flair. The Becky Lynch, the man character, is clearly inspired by Ric Flair. It's clearly inspired by his just IDGAF attitude from way back when. Walking in, being the best, walking out, proving that you were the best, whatever you want, being on the magazine covers, being on the TV commercials, being on the TV shows. Like, that's Ric Flair. So I don't really know how the thing is going to end. It might just die down because when WWE says no, if you want to touch a billion-dollar company's legal team trying to, make a point off principle, go right ahead. Ric Flair has a case, but, I mean, does he have the money to prove he has a case?
Let's see. The application specifically refers to the use of the man in relation to wrestling exhibit, live appearance, and performances by a professional wrestler and entertainer rendered live and through broadcast media, namely television and radio, and the internet commercial service.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that pretty much says to me?
What?
Ric Flair is trying to trademark the man, just like LeBron James was trying to trademark Taco Tuesday.
Yep.
You're not winning that one.
You're not. Because, first of all, the actual phrase, the man, those two words are two of the most common words in the English language. The man of the house, the man of the hour, the man of the evening. Like, there's so many idioms and figures of speech that have come apart or that you can create to where it's kind of hard to like legally trademark that. The only thing Ric Flair could probably argue is that they're using his brand to promote somebody else. And he would have to somehow prove that them using his brand to promote somebody else is damaging his brand and confusing his consumers. That, at this point in time, looks a lot harder than Ric Flair.
So pause it right there. Let's get back to that. Pause that right there. It says I'm on Newsweek. I'm on Newsweek right now. So this is where I'm getting this information from.
It's a credible source.
Flair says he is happy for Lynch to use the moniker, has no ill will towards the Irish wrestler, but wants to be compensated by WWE for the use of the phrase. The multi-time wrestling champ added that he is willing to pursue legal procedures against WWE because he wants to be able to provide for his family if he dies. We all know how close Ric Flair has been close to death. But back to what you said about them using it, because when you said that, I remember exactly what happened. You remember as we was getting ready for SummerSlam, and a Hall of Famer by the name of Trish Stratus was on SmackDown Live. Was she in the ring with Charlotte Flair?
I believe so.
And wasn't it in that promo where the words of Ric Flair came out?
Ew.
Mind you, think about everything Becky Lynch has done ever since she became the man. The only thing she really hasn't been saying is the man. Has she said anything else that relates to Ric Flair?
Mountain.
Besides the man, Becky Lynch has done nothing that resembles Ric Flair. I said anything that resembles Ric Flair.
Hasn't used the figure 4. Hasn't said that she'll be taking Seth Rollins on the best ride of his life. Hasn't been coming out of limos. Hasn't been wearing designer suits. Hasn't been wearing gaiters that are wearing his feet now.
Matter of fact, she hasn't even said that he ain't one of her points to be the man. You got to beat the man. She hasn't even said that.
I mean, she's getting married. Lord knows Ric Flair couldn't keep a relationship down in his prime. So that's something.
But the funny thing is, this dispute that we got going on here, apparently there's a problem with the father and the daughter going on right now because of this.
Sir?
Because when you was talking about the using of Ric Flair's lines, you brought me back to Charlotte Flair. I'm like, if I remember correctly, Charlotte Flair was a part of one of those promos that her father's favorite line was used in.
Mm-hmm.
So now, but you want to be able to take care of the family if you die. But now you're having a problem with your daughter.
Well, I mean,
now, because you trying to sue WWE for the trademark of the man.
I mean, do you really think they're going to bury Charlotte, though?
No, they're not going to bury Charlotte. What I'm saying is, Charlotte has a problem with this whole situation.
Well, duh. I mean, she's working in a very political business, and her dad's trying to sue the company. I can understand why she would have an issue.
They call Becky Lynch the man, but if I remember correctly, it's the one who has the most title reigns is the one that's the daughter.
Oh, by far. Nobody's catching up now.
The woman has 9. She's working on 10. Ric Flair, you're not going to win this. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Because he's definitely listening right now.
No, he's probably not, but who knows?
Ric Flair made it this far into this podcast episode. My God. I don't care what kind of heat he tweets at us. I would be so...
May God bless us all if this happens.
He would napalm the shit out of us, and we'd have to delete our Twitter, but that's okay.
Ric Flair, you're not winning this. Let it go. Just let it go.
Your reasons for telling him to let it go are much different than mine. Brother, I don't know your bank account. I don't know how much the Adidas deal is paying you. All I know is that few people in this world have the money to go toe-to-toe legally with WWE. If you're still a rich man, go out a rich man. Don't fight a battle based off of principle and lose it all trying to beat WWE. If there was a way to beat WWE, there'd be a union by now. And with that, because, I'm sure this one comes last, right? This one comes after college in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, everything's already happened. I'm sure you've already actually seen the Thursday night game. I'm sure there's a lot of things going forward and everything, our picks. But, hey, guys, as we close this long podcast, I just want you to know something. I did not lose my mind. Unlike Darnell, I am very objective, and I can see things for the way they are. But don't ever, ever in your God-given healthy life forget that I will always be fuck the city of Nashville, fuck the Tennessee Titans, and fuck Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill's right and left ACLs. I only wish the worst, and I hope that I'm wrong, and that all the bad things happen to you and only you.